And then I also didn't know this. Do you know who also auditioned for that role, who also is in Gilmore Girls? Hello, Cozy Detectives, and welcome to the Blanket Fort Files. I'm Larisa.
And I'm Joy.
And we're here to report on all things comfy and cozy. Season 2!
We're out of pilot season!
Yay!
Let's go!
That hopefully picked up to network.
Still just our own network.
Yes.
The YouTubes and the interwebs.com. Okay, we both have a show and tell as part of our catch up.
Yes.
Oh, but also, it's going to sound so old. I didn't really get the whole mothers thing. I'm not going to lie. I feel like, was it Glenn Powell recently that was like, I don't get it? And I saw like a video. But the thing I do get is that
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know how?
I was like, what do you mean you don't get mothers? I'm like, what do you mean?
Like, you mean the plot of this episode? No, like Taylor Swift is mother, or like, because I was gonna say that
the
meme side of it. But then the thing I was gonna say is that it is the mother's birthday because it's Lorelai's birthday, and so in her honor, I wore this top, which is the same brand and fabric, but it's not a dress, as she wore to TJ's wedding. So this is it's weird like seeing it like more in person than like on TV, but this is the fabric and the pattern that she was wearing.
So fun.
Right? So I was like, I have to honor mother question mark. I don't know. Today.
Well, she actually is a mother. Sometimes they use that for people who aren't mothers too, but I think it actually comes from drag shows because they have like a drag mother in that, and then
I've never gotten it. I don't understand the
lore.
So
I think that's where it comes from, and then people always just have to co-opt culture and stuff. So I think that's like
everything goes into something else.
I have two funny stories. One is part of show and tell. Yes. But I have two funny stories for you. One you know that I'm telling the pod, but one you don't know. So I'm going to start with that one. I had my first. Because I don't know about you, but I get like stress dreams. But even though I don't feel like I'm particularly stressed.
Yeah.
But I had my first podcast stress dream last night. So I woke up like an hour before my alarm was supposed to go off. And I was like, please, I just want to be able to go back to sleep because like waking up an hour early is just like
the worst.
So I was really trying to just manifest going back to sleep. And I don't know why. I think because this is like quote unquote the latest we've ever recorded an episode. I told Joy because like normally we record when I get home from work, and I'm like, I just need to decompress first.
Valid.
So hopefully I feel a little more energetic, which I feel like I do. And it's a Friday, so the vibes are there. But anyways, so we're recording later than we normally do, and even today I have to be like, we're recording. Like just reminding myself because like it's a different time. So in the dream, I got on the like thing that we record on 2 hours late, which is we're already doing it later. And you were there at first and like you were nice about it, but I was just like, I didn't even have a reason. And I feel like also I just realized I don't have my light. So after I tell the story, I'm going to grab it because it's going to start getting darker. I just saw it and I was like, oh no, I didn't turn that on. It's this dream coming true, man.
No, you're doing great.
I was like so disorganized and my computer just like kept knocking over and I was talking. And then at some point you left and Michael came on and I had to do the podcast with Michael and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Vibe. He's just been I'm gonna be a guest, and I'm like,
you can tell him in my dream he was.
That's so funny.
And it's so funny too because like I've only seen him on like a couple of calls that you and I've had where he's like come in the room, but like I've never, obviously I haven't met you in person, but like I feel like I know you, but I've only seen this man like a couple of times that he was there. It was such a weird dream.
Wait, do you know what the episode was about or anything? Or you were just
I don't remember any of the content or like what we talked about, but I can't remember. My whole computer just like kept, like it never kicked me off the call. It just kept like knocking over. I guess it was like a wobbly. I don't know. But I was like stressed out. And I guess obviously I've never experienced you mad before, but I think you just got like so fed up and you're like, Michael's going to have to do this.
I'm subbing in. Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
so
I'm going to go
funny.
grab my light really fast.
Yeah.
And then I want to see your show and tell.
Yes. Oh, and I have a mini show and tell too, real quick. I also got this. This is not my 2%, but I did get this because I found it. It's Elle Wood's watch.
Stop.
Isn't
You're
that
like,
awesome?
Look at you all like coordinated Lorelai Elle Woods.
I feel like it's the 90s of it. It's following me. AKA I'm searching for.
Well, I have my denim vest on too. So I was trying to be a little mom vibes, but let me grab my light. Okay, sorry.
No, you're doing great. Wait, what was the story that I have heard? Will I remember it?
The book.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so as I talked about a little bit in the last episode, no, this is a great story. It made my whole week. Joy is the sweetest person ever.
Here's the thing. This is what tells you that I have never read the original.
So, as y'all know, last summer I got really back into American Girl, and I'm manifesting American Girl summer for myself and hopefully for others. More on that later. And in last year's American Girl episode, I talked about the care and keeping of you and how I still have my original copy with my message from my mom. Yeah. And so sweet Joy, sweet Angel Joy, found that they made an updated version of it.
I didn't know it was.
I know, on Amazon. And she's like, I found you something. I'm so excited. It came in the mail. She's like, check it when you get home. And so I opened it. And
you're like,
I had to text Joy, and I bet the cozy detectives that are listening to this that have read it are like giggling because it's a book for puberty.
You know, just in case you didn't hit, I got it round 2 going.
It's so sweet.
So here's the thing. Show the cover though. The cover is just like 3 little nuggies on the cover vibing, and so I thought it was going to be like, here's ways to like brush your hair. Put your hair up and paint your nails. No,
but it's so helpful, and I texted you this. Like, it taught me how to shave. It taught me how to use a tampon. Like, it's a really helpful guide. So we decided that if any of our cozy detectives have daughters or a niece, someone in their life that is about to go through puberty, that we will gift this to you.
Yes.
So if you email us at blanketfortfiles@gmail.com and just say that you would like this, send us your mailing address. It'll be free. We'll send it to you.
And the first person, we will say that as well, just in case there are multiples. Whoever's the first person to send us that, we'll get this.
Yeah. And I will just... No, I was
laughed
so funny. And I was
for like too long. I was like,
it made my day.
No.
I told, because Jacqueline was like in her room when I opened it, and I was like,
yeah, what did Jacqueline think? She
was just like, oh no. And I will just say this as a little bit of a preface, just so you aren't blindsided if you did not read the original one. It's all illustrated, but there are some more graphic drawings in this. I think it is very helpful because you're in a time where your body is changing, but I don't want anyone to be blindsided when they get it. And there's some detailed drawings, but you're in health class. It's okay. But I did want to just warn you so you don't get it and give it to your child. And then they're like scarred because we all I feel like it was kind of a universal thing if you read the first book, because that was before the internet. So everyone just kind of discovered it on their own of like, like this is us like figuring all that stuff out for the first time.
I still have never read it or opened it. And so I thought, because I was like so excited because I thought it was going to be like, so I have a feeling I had a couple of your show and tells that I want to hear about next.
Yeah.
I have to do also with American Girls. I was like, oh my gosh, this is also going to be there. I'm so excited. Whatever. It's a funny story for the blanket for the cozy detectives, you know.
It is. And I'm very excited to be able to give it away because I think it truly was like I held on to mine. It was a very like, I don't know, it's one of those times in your life that is awful when you're going through it, but then you're able to look back on it with some fondness. So I hope to be able to share this with someone. And I was texting Joy and I'm like, not that we're anywhere near that, but I feel like it'll be here before we know it. But I'm like, why don't they have like a menopause one?
Yeah, I want different
people?
Stages.
Yeah,
I want mommy one. I want a pregnancy one. I want it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the graphics of it, depending on how graphic that is. I don't think I want to bring anyone to that.
Yeah, but you know, you got to learn. But
now to the cozy parts of it.
Yes.
Cozy ones.
So I'm going to save this. I'm going to show you, but I'm going to save the actual activities for it when we do our little American Girl mini-sode. But I also found this at a Half Price Books because I can't remember if I talked about this, but I ordered a bunch more American Girl from eBay. I'm a little upset because I started going through them and a lot of them are cut up and that was nowhere in the description. It said the condition was very good. So I'm a little sad about that. But I did get this and I didn't realize when I ordered it, but it's the exact same one that I had as a kid.
Whoa.
Like I opened it and it was like core memory unlocked.
Whoa.
So it's full of little quizzes. And so I'm going to do some of these with Joy on a little mini episode that we haven't planned yet, but we will. So that is my show and tell.
Oh, yay. I'm glad all love it yours. Well. Mine also kind of has to do with summer. I feel like it's like the American Girl summer feeling of it starting to get warmer. Also, for the first time, I drove past where this little like pop-up like plant sale type thing happens each year. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, they had plants. And so I feel like, oh, we're getting close. It's going to start opening. I can smell it. But okay, I got this because one of the things, I would say like when we get to the specific summer episode of like our like this year's version of our normal like kind of tips type style, I will definitely have this included in different ways. But I was thinking about it and I want to make like a little like book for each, I don't know if it's for each season, but I know I want to do summer. So I did get this little like notebook that has like different books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to cover it in stickers, kind of like you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a big sticker girly.
Right. But I was a keep the stickers. Like
yes, same. I've been trying to do better at that, but I still don't. I have so many stickers I need to use.
So I do have some. And I think I might have at least one of, if not the like mascot for my summer. I'm trying to figure out. I was never
a mascot.
I know, right? I only found it because she popped out at me. So I have a couple of different sticker things here. Some Lisa Frank vibes. I've got a little Lizzie just vibing. Cute. I actually also did a little Franklin because look how happy he is.
Oh my gosh. Side note, I got a video the other day. Did you ever, we mentioned Franklin and it like reminded me, did you ever have the Franklin board game?
No.
We didn't have it, but I think it was at the school I went to. I sent it to my sister and she didn't really have any memory of it other than the little, because you have the different characters as the pawns. And I don't remember anything of how it worked or how it played, but I saw the board on a video and I was like, oh, I haven't thought about that game in so long. And it just was one of those memory unlock things.
Cool.
So I just wanted to see if you also grew up playing that.
No, I'd never seen it. We had like all of the little like computer game kid ones.
Yeah, we had those too, but we also had a couple like just board games too.
No, I have not. I'm excited. I want to look that up. So I also never really watched My Little Pony, but this
Me neither.
How do I show you her? Look at her little self with her like cowgirl hat, and look, she's down here too. She's just vibing. So I'm gonna put her on my notebook too. So
fun.
That's one of my plans to do for summer because then I can put like my things to do, my tips, and my like little photos. Yeah. So I thought this might be too small, but it's just big enough for one of the Insta whatever's like where it like
Insta.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was one of my goals at the beginning of the year to use mine more, and I was really good about doing it, and then it fell off. So I'm hoping this summer because I feel like it's like a summer vibes type thing.
Okay, so on that I want to redo my sad present and give you a cute present. So I got a little pack of these actually. So I want to know if you want one of the colors. I have a feeling which one you'll pick, but we'll see. Do you want one? And I'll send it to you.
Oh, fun. You already know what color I want.
Where's it at? This one.
Yay! Thanks. Oh my gosh. And that's
so we can be twinsies.
Okay. Yes, and that was one of the things in American Girl Summer that I was struggling with was the Amelia's notebook section because I'm a notoriously bad notebook keeper-upper.
This is tiny.
Yes. So I'm hoping, I think it would be cute to keep the Instax in and then add little stickers and make it like a little mini summer scrapbook.
That's what I'm thinking. I started looking up scrapbook stuff. So like, I put
Oh.
stickers and then like little ribbons and just like fun things. And also, like, not gonna lie, this pack was from Amazon. And so I'm not like so precious about it. And so that's why I'm excited. And if I don't fill out the whole notebook, that's fine. But like, it has all of the different like colors and stuff.
Oh, that's so fun.
I'm excited. So I will send this to you. Redo.
Yay, thank you. All right, shall we get into today's theme?
Yeah.
So like last year, which is so fun to be able to say now, we did our 90s moms countdown for Mother's Day. This year, we're just doing regular case files about a cozy mom movie for each of us. And I think I know you've seen mine, but I've never seen yours. So I'm really excited to get to hear about yours. But I'm up first, and I am talking about Freaky Friday.
Yay, love! I'm so excited.
It's such a classic. Wow. So
that's what I watched in my blanket fort last year. That was my movie.
Oh, cute. Love that. What a good connection. So speaking really fast, because I just had this thought when you said that your case file has to do with past case files. I meant to mention this in the catch up. I got the new Nancy Drew game that came out last year, the Mystery of the Seven Keys, and I started it. And I want our cozy detectives that are Nancy Drew detectives to message me or email me, but I'm not super vibing with it. It feels, the animation has always been kind of wonky in Nancy Drew games, but that's kind of the charm. But they try to update it, but it honestly looks like Sims 2 level of animation. And I'm like, that's still like
either we want outdated. The classic or we want like now. Like, don't do that weird awkward middle.
Yeah. And then apparently unless you have like a super duper high tech gaming computer, there's a game pretty early on that it won't work for your computer. So I was like Googling it, and I guess they have a patch so you can download it and like skip that part. But I'm just like, come on, like we shouldn't. The whole point of Nancy Drew is like it's for girls and like the average person. So anyways, if anyone's played it, let me know what your thoughts are. But back to Freaky Friday. I just wanted to say that before I forgot. I'm specifically talking about the Freaky Friday of our generation, because there were other adaptations, but this is the 2003 one with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
The queens.
Truly. It was directed by Mark Waters and written by Heather Hatch and Leslie Dixon. For anyone who has been living under a rock and not seen this movie, I don't know, I feel like it was so popular when we were in that preteen era, when we were reading The Care and Keeping of You.
That, and also this was like, I feel like the like One Tree Hill, this Cinderella story, like this was like the Chad Michael Murray era too. Which I will say, I still feel like started with Gilmore Girls. But,
absolutely.
You know.
But it's the story is high school student Anna Coleman. She is this like edgy alt girl, which side fact, when I was doing some research, apparently she was originally supposed to be goth, and Lindsay Lohan didn't want to play goth, so she convinced them to make her more like alternative rocker. Yeah, exactly. And then her mom, who is Tess, is this strict kind of uptight mom, although not fully. I feel now watching it as an adult, I'm like, well, she's just a regular mom. Actually, I feel like she's pretty cool. But she's a psychiatrist, and she is engaged to Ryan. But Anna's not happy about that because her dad passed away about 3 years ago. So she's still in this grieving process. So the movie kind of starts out and it's just showing that these two don't get along at all. It kind of lets us look at how they are in their separate lives. Like we see Anna at school and we see Tess at work, and they go out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant, and the owner gives them these fortune cookies. They go and they're like fighting at the restaurant. They go into Anna goes into the bathroom and the mom's like outside in the hallway, and they read the fortune, and there's this earthquake, but nothing happens yet. And then that night they swap bodies, essentially, like their soul or whatever goes
Mhm.
into the other. And so over the course of the Freaky Friday, they have to navigate life as the other, and they
Is this
have to
all supposed to be
learn.
one day?
Yes, it all, if you watch it, it all takes place because technically it's a weekend because
Yeah, I was just like,
the
I feel
first
like
day we see is Thursday, but the majority of the movie
Ah.
is all one day, which I'm like, that is a lot to happen in one day because Anna has
Yeah.
her SATs, then Tess she goes to work, she goes shopping, she gets a makeover, she goes to Harry's parent teacher conference, like and the rehearsal dinner and the band
Yeah.
audition. So that's also kind of the big, I guess, climax of the movie or the major conflict, because Anna's band has these auditions for kind of a battle of the bands. It's called Wango Tango. And it's happening at the same time as Tessa's rehearsal dinner. And so, so there's this big conflict of that. So, a little bit of, I guess, and then where Chad Michael Murray fits in, he plays Jake, who is Anna's crush. And a couple of fun facts about that role. That was Lindsay Lohan's very first on-screen kiss.
Oh.
Yeah. And I guess Chad Michael Murray was also a little nervous, and he was nervous because it's kind of a weird scene, but because Anna is in Tessa's body,
Oh,
they have this like
yeah.
flirty moment, but it's Jamie Lee Curtis acting it. And so she like kissed him before that scene to like make him feel better. Because he was like really nervous because he's like, I don't want to flirt too much. I don't
Yeah.
want to be like not flirting enough. And then I also didn't know this. Do you know who also auditioned for that role? Who also is in Gilmore Girls?
Wait, for Chad Michael Murray's role?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'd be Dean, right? Is it Jared?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can see
Yeah.
Jared doing it.
Yeah, which is just so funny because they have that whole like Tristan Dean like
Yeah.
competition sort of in Gilmore Girls. So I thought
Still.
that was kind of interesting. Um, but a couple of little behind the scenes casting tidbits. Annette Bening and Michelle Trachtenberg were originally cast as the leads, which was like, oh,
Oh.
Michelle, my sweet girl. But she was busy doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so she wasn't
Yeah.
able to do it. So they both exited due to scheduling conflicts. And then Tom Selleck was originally cast as Ryan,
Oh, we
but when
love
Annette Bening backed out, he did too because he only wanted to work with her.
Oh.
And they like, I guess both, I don't know, like both of them backed out like right before they started shooting. So
Oh,
it was kind
no.
of this whole like, we got to find these people. So there was actually a lot of young actresses who were considered for Anna. So I'm going to read them quickly. A lot of the names are like, oh yeah, that was that time. So there was Misha Barton, Kristen Stewart, Mae Whitman,
Oh.
Evan Rachel Wood, Brie Larson, Emmy Rossman, Kristen Bell, Sherry Appleby, and Danielle Panabaker.
Wow. Yeah, that is very that time. It's so interesting though, because
Yep.
I don't know if it's because like Lindsay Lohan in that role is solidified to me, but I can't really
Mm-hmm.
picture so like especially like Emmy Rossum. Like I don't know why. I just like
Yeah, she's just Phantom of the
yeah.
Opera to me.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like it makes you think like would they have changed the character to like instead of being
Yeah, because I mean, and I don't know when all of they read for if it was still a goth role. I feel if
Yeah.
that was the case, Mae Whitman
Yeah.
would have done
Oh, yeah.
super good with that. But actually, Lindsay Lohan's she tanked at her audition, and they
Ruh-roh.
didn't want her at first, but they just thought on it, and they were like, "Okay, I think we can give it to her." And probably, I don't know if anyone else didn't want it. And she actually, after Parent Trap, took a break
Mm.
from acting because she just wanted to have a normal life and go to high
Yeah.
school and everything. So this was kind of her first
Mm.
entry back into acting. And I don't know if this is true, but I would like to believe it was, and it would be really cute. Apparently, when Jamie Lee Curtis found out that Lindsay was going to play her daughter, she was like, or not that Lindsay, but she was told that someone from Parent Trap, she was like, which twin?
Oh,
She
cute.
didn't realize she played both roles apparently.
Aw.
So again, I don't know if that was true, but I'd like to think it
Yeah,
was.
I actually have heard Lindsay talk about that, about how like at the premiere, one of the Disney execs was like, "Where's your twin?" And she was like, "Actually, just me. You should have paid me more." I'm like, yes.
Which, speaking of the premiere, that was at the peak of the Lindsay Lohan Hilary Duff Hilary Duff crashed the premiere, and then later Lindsay Lohan crashed the Cheaper by the Dozen premiere. That was like when all of that was going on.
I never knew that. See, I always knew that they like were supposed to have drama between the two of them, but I actually figured it was just Chad Michael Murray based. So I was like,
no, it was actually over Aaron Carter.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah,
wait, wow.
yeah.
How does Aaron Carter connect to Lindsay Lohan? Because he was
I
on
think
Lizzie
they
McGuire.
dated. I think they dated, and so part of him being on Lizzie McGuire was Hillary trying to get back at Lindsay, so she had him on her show. I need to send you. There's this guy on TikTok. He's very talented, but he does these watercolors, and he'll tell you about like pop culture history moments. And that's where I learned a lot, because I heard little snippets of this when it was going on, but not a lot. But I learned a lot from this guy. So I'll have to find it and send it to you. Please. But anyways, so this was actually based on the 19th of the film, because again, there's been a couple different adaptations, but that was based on a novel which was written by Mary Rogers. And so Freaky Friday is mentioned on Gilmore Girls, and I never knew if it was the book or the old movie. Clearly it wasn't this one, because they reference it in like season 1 or 2, so that this one wasn't out yet. A little bit of a tidbit with this little Gilmore Girls original. There's an actor, his name is Mark McClure, I think that's how you say it. He played, quote unquote, the Jake character. So in that version, it's not Anna. She goes by Annabelle, which is technically her full name, Lindsay Lohan's character, but the quote unquote Jake love interest in that film makes a cameo in this version. He plays the delivery man. And it's so funny. Jacqueline, I don't know why this is one of those weird things that Jacqueline and I quote all the time, where he's like, "No, Boris."
I always do the grandpa, hurry quick.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know why that's the one we picked up. We do that
Boris
all the time. Like if we say something like "no," we're like, "No, Boris." I don't know why, but that's where he's from. And then Jodie Foster originally played the mom, and they wanted her to reprise the mom, and she declined because she just didn't want it to be like a spectacle kind of casting. She just wanted to let a new story be told.
That's cool.
Which I thought was kind of classy of her to do that. And then there's been a lot of interviews with either Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, so just about their relationship. And so I have a few cute little stories with that. So apparently Lindsay had to give her a tutorial on how to do the like shut up, because Jamie just like struggled to say it in the right cadence, which I just think is kind of funny, because there was that big moment in Princess Diaries as well. I guess we were really saying "shut up" a lot back then. I never,
but with like, that realized shut up, like the pause.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have this little. I'm struggling with my words, but Jamie Lee in an interview shared this story, which I'm hoping that they have changed it since then, but she said that they have this little like code phrase so that they know it's really each other. So she says every time she gets a text from someone claiming to be Lindsay, she asks them to prove it by telling her which rap song the duo was trying to learn on set, which she said the correct answer in the interview. And I'm like, maybe pick a new answer. But the answer was Justin Timberlake's I Love You. So that's how she knew it was actually Lindsay. But I'm like, now you're going to have to pick a new code phrase, because the whole world knows that now. So then I have just a couple more little tidbits. The iconic song "Take Me Away."
Okay, good. I was like, if you don't talk about it.
Okay, well, I have one that's actually one that I didn't know, but if you didn't know, and I always thought it was Jamie actually playing that. She's not actually playing, but she is actually strumming. They did dub it over with some, but both Lindsay and Jamie learned how to play guitar. Cool. And that every time they cut to her, though, I get chills when I watch it because it's so good. But that song apparently was from an Australian girl band called Lash.
Cool.
But that version, when they say the line "same old stuff never ends," they don't say stuff. So they had to change the lyrics to be Disney friendly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, the only reason I know that she's not strumming is because there's a different guy online on the interwebs who will actually play whatever the people are playing. And so he like was actually playing along with what she's strumming. And I'm like, aw.
Yeah, ruin the magic. But she at least learned. And I feel like it's pretty.
It looks like it. I believed it my whole life.
Yeah. She's so cool. And she gets that little edgy haircut. And it's also kind of special because my mom actually kind of looks like Jamie Lee Curtis. What? And so around that time, she also started doing the little like spiky pixie and stuff.
Nice.
So,
well, I think her outfit, I think that dress that she's wearing, I think it's Diane von Furstenberg. So
yeah, I think you're right.
Mom's going to go hardcore.
I know. And then I was going to say, because that ties in with Lorelai because she's big Diane von Furstenberg in like season 6 with all those wrap dresses.
Yep.
And then I have a last little tidbit, and then we can talk about the sequel slightly. But there was actually an alternate, not really alternate ending, but essentially when because Grandpa and Harry are about. So I don't think I mentioned that, but they also live with Tessa's dad, and then Anna has a little brother named Harry. But at the very end, they're kind of bickering at the wedding, and so they're gonna get the fortune cookies that like make them swap roles. And then there's a character, her name is Pepe. She basically runs in and like tackles them. Yeah. But apparently that was when they just like get the cookies. It was gonna fade to black without the tackle. And then they were like, we need to end this on a funnier note, so we'll add the tackle in. And then I never caught this because it's one of those, once you know to look for it, it's very obvious. I don't know if you've heard about this because it was like circling the internet a couple years ago. There is a stunt man, not a stunt boy. It is a full man in a little tie right before it cuts to the tackle. So you just see this like man standing there with a little hairy tie. It's so funny.
I've seen that. I forgot that I saw that until you just said that. Yeah. They don't attack like the little boy or attack the like older guy. So they put the it's so awkward.
Yeah. And then just a little quick story about Pepe and the actress, which I didn't write her name down, which I feel bad, but she originally wasn't going to take the role because this is one thing of like looking back now with the lens of today. There's a lot of kind of cultural appropriation with that storyline. So she kind of felt uncomfortable doing that. But her dad actually owned a Chinese restaurant. And so she wanted to be part of that story and pay homage to that, which I think is nice to like look at it. But it does get a little hokey with that. But moving into the sequel, if you didn't hear the news or didn't see the trailer, there is a sequel coming out this year in August called Freakier Friday.
I'm scared.
And I know it looks.
I hope it's good.
I don't know because so many remakes and sequels are just not good. Yeah. And I thought we were kind of past that point of doing all of the remakes and the redos because I feel like there was a stretch of time where it was like everything was getting a reboot. And I get it. We're a generation like running on nostalgia at this point, but I don't know. It just feels like it's one of those things where I always try too hard. And because like even with A Year in the Life, it wasn't that good.
Yeah. So I think it's also things too where it's like, again, like A Year in Life, you have like where the plot's going in your head and you've kept it there for so long. And so I feel like for the two ways I was hoping that they would either do is either the mother-daughter like switch again, but now they're older, so they're in totally different stages once again of life.
Right.
Or I thought it was going to be like Lindsay Lohan and like her daughter switched?
I think it's supposed
It's
to
like
be some sort of
everybody.
four-way
I
switch. Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
I'm not so convinced.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't
and
know
then
these
I don't know.
kids.
And yeah, it's one of those things too where I'm really bad at seeing movies anyway,
Mhm.
and so I'm like, I'll probably just put this off. I don't know, but I do really love that Lindsay Lohan's kind of on this like second chance
Yeah.
recovery journey. I did watch a couple of her like Netflix Christmas movies in our annual blanket fort, and they also weren't good either.
I watched
But
the one where there's something of like a, I don't know if it's a hotel or it's like an inn or something.
oh,
That's the one that I
I watched
watched.
that one.
And I was
Yeah,
just
I think
like,
that's
I'm here for
yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah, is that the one where she gets amnesia, or is that a
Yes.
different
No,
one?
it's that
Okay,
one. You're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
I was
much
like,
going on.
oh, but we still love her.
Yeah. Oh, I'm ready for
Okay,
yours.
I'm excited. It's interesting because you opened it with like a cozy, and I'm like, ooh, is my cozy? I think it is. It's one of those. Okay, hear me out because I also made you watch the mother.
Oh,
Not
is it Terry?
technically cozy. I would say this is a wonderful rewatch and a wonderful story. I would say there's parts in it where it doesn't feel very cozy because there is loss and death.
Mhm.
But really what so my case file is the 2004 movie with Kate Hudson, Raising Helen. So I'm
Oh, I don't think I realized they were so close in release.
yes,
That's
and it's
cool.
gonna feel very 2004 once you start hearing everybody that's in it and things like that. So the plot of the movie is mainly there are three sisters that are adults. So there's Kate Hudson, who plays Helen Harris, her sister Joan Cusack, who plays Jenny Portman, who's the yeah, Kate Hudson, I believe, is the baby. Joan, I believe, is, I should say their character names, but I'm just gonna say Joan right now, is the
Yeah.
oldest, and then they have a middle.
She just gives old sister energy
Oh,
too, just
she
like
has like one of the best scenes in this movie too. I'll get to it.
aw.
So good. And then there's a middle sister who has three kids who are played by, who's Audrey Davis, played by Hayden Panettiere, Spencer Braylon, and
Mm.
Abigail. Oh my gosh, Breslin and Abigail Breslin. So actually, two little
Oh,
actual nuggets that are siblings are in this playing siblings, which is so
cute.
cute. And Abigail is so tiny; she's such a
Oh,
nugget.
and she's so
Oh, so
talented. Oh,
talented. She still makes me
I
tear up.
love
I
her.
watched it recently again,
Yeah.
which I will say I have a bone to pick because I feel like it's on like no streaming services.
Oh,
Like
of
someone,
course.
yeah, I had the DVD like always, and I was like, oh my word, I better have this DVD because I was like, I cannot find it on anything. So if you do find it on a streaming service, let us know. Maybe it'll change and how they always find stuff. But
Yes.
unfortunately their mom passes and Kate Hudson is a like young working woman. It kind of almost gives vibes of a like toned down version of Devil Wears Prada where like she's like second in command, but the job that she works for, she's in New York and she's working for kind of like a modeling agency, talent agency.
Mhm.
And so her sister unfortunately passes. The like super mom that is Jenny Portman, played by again Joan Cusack, is just like you kind of presume that she's going to be the one who has the three children.
Mhm.
But it turns out that actually the sister left her kids to Kate Hudson. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, because obviously that is very different. She's like the baby. She's like I wouldn't say like it's like really crazy, but also you get Hayden Panettiere, who I believe is like 15-ish in this. So you get a 15-year-old, like an
Mhm.
11-year-old, and then I think Abigail is like 5-ish. I know that she can't tie her shoes, so whatever age you're figuring that out in.
Yeah.
It's
Which that's so that's reminding me of something else where it gets
mm,
kids get left to like the more
like quirky. Yeah,
irresponsible
yeah.
sibling, and I can't think of it, but it's also reminding me of Abigail's done this role
I know
later
it made
on
me
with
live in
No
this kid.
Reservations because she also her mom
Yeah.
passes and has to live with her aunt who's, like, obsessed with her job, which I do think I wanna do a case file
Oh,
on that come,
good.
like, fall because it's very, like, winter, fall vibes,
So
but
good. I think it's
man,
also the
they're
food in
making
that
her
makes you feel like it's like
yes,
deliciousness.
hearty,
I
but yeah, they're putting Abigail through it, poor
I
thing.
know. Uh,
She's so
she's so
talented.
talented. She's so good. She made me tear up in this movie again. I was like, "Oh, girl
Aw.
in your little shoes." Um, but so they're left to Kate, and so Kate's having to figure this out, and they end up moving apartments. So they move. into, I want to say it's Queens. And then, so she's trying to find a school for the kids, and she goes into like a few different schools, and it's kind of like, oh, we don't really want them there. And she like makes a joke in the car, like, God help. And then they like pass this Lutheran church, and she's like, well, that was fast. So they get out and they go into the Lutheran church, and the pastor Dan, who's like also the principal, is played by John Corbett. I don't know how to say his last name correctly. He was the thing I know him from. I actually have never seen Sex and the City, but he was in that too. But is my Big Fat Greek Wedding. He's the main guy in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So this is like very similar.
Oh yeah, he's also in I think he's in Parenthood. Let me double check that.
Okay, I still need to see.
I think he plays Lauren Graham's ex-husband, I'm pretty sure. I need to double check that. He's kind of a deadbeat. Though.
He's good in this. He's good in this.
Good.
He's a good guy. And so, but the only thing that's kind of funny is I'm like, I feel like I think it's like part of it is where like Lutherans typically will want to stay within the faith, but he's like, Kate Hudson, how's it going? So he's the love interest in this as well. So he's the principal, and he's the love interest. And so it's kind of really what it feels like is it's Kate Hudson. So the reason I picked this as a mom is because it's kind of like a different, kind of almost Chessy vibes of like Kate Hudson has to learn. Well, not exactly. I feel like Chessy just knew. Chessy was just on it. But Kate Hudson,
she was a mom.
She was also fantastic in what's the school show that I've been watching?
Abbott Elementary.
Yes, so good.
I still haven't watched it, but yes, I was right. He is. Sorry,
go.
I had to confirm. He is in Parenthood as Lauren Graham's ex-husband and like Mae Whitman's dad. So
see, I sometimes when I feel like Mae Whitman has a role of that when she's a little girl, where they're like, your mom died, now you're going with this mom or something. I just feel like,
oh, you just watched it.
Yeah,
not really. It wasn't a death, but with the parents splitting up and Hope Floats.
That's what it is. I'm like, my brain was getting confused between these little girls. I'm like, I just watched you. It's something else. I'm like, wait, no, it's not you. Anyway. I would say it's a really good story. It has it
sounds like all of the elements that I like.
It also has the early 2000s clothing, which we all love.
So
the
good.
Director, which is where this connects to previous Case Files, is Gary Marshall, who also.
Oh
yeah, right. So
he cameo in it because I feel like he always has little cameos in his movies.
That's a good point. I didn't see him. Maybe he was in the background and I didn't notice him. But Gary Marshall, just in case you haven't watched that Case File, is the same director as Princess Diaries, and he pulls some people over. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that you're in this.
Yeah.
So Joe from Princess Diaries is in this.
Oh, cute.
And then I couldn't remember what this character's name was, but like, make boy moose go wah.
Oh, Paolo
is in this too. I was like, oh, it's like nice to like see you guys together.
Yeah, he loves he's very much like Amy Sherman Palladino, where he has this little like multiverse of actors that he liked using, because I think he also I think it's Pretty Woman that he did as well, and there's a lot of crossover with the Princess Diaries too.
I also think so Joe, the actual actor's name is Hector. I think Hector's in that. He might be like the one who's like in all of it.
Probably, yeah.
But he's very good. He plays Mickey Massey, who is the.
I thought you were going to say Mickey Mouse.
He plays Mickey Mouse. And I was like, am I going to say Massey or Macy? I don't know. He's the owner of the pre-owned, not used, I think is how he phrases it, car place. And so she has to get a new job for a while. So she's really just figuring out how to be a mom. One of the like peak scenes in this, where I feel like as a kid you like are like, oh, this would be terrifying, is that so in this new school there is a like kind of like, you don't really want to hang out with this type of crowd, and Hayden Panettiere kind of gets sucked into that crowd because there was like a cute boy that she's like, oh, this guy's cute, but he is not good news. And so they were supposed to go to prom together, and then I'm just gonna call her Kate. Kate Hudson's like, you can't go with him. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? Find another senior? And she's like, yes. And so she like finds another senior, you know what I mean? She's like, I'm going with this guy now. And then she ditches him and goes and hangs out with the baddie. And then they go to like a like kind of sleazy like motel type thing. And they Kate Hudson's starting to get really nervous because obviously she doesn't want her there. And so she goes and gets her sister, Joan, who
this is really reminding me of another movie, and I can't think of it. And every time you say, I'm like, oh, what is it? It's gonna bother me. I'll have to ask like Jacqueline when she comes back after we're recording, because I'm like, oh, our cozy detectives are probably like,
it's just like this.
I'm just saying it, but it's literally because there's like there's a scene where they also have to call the more like responsible one, and she's like, if you had just let me take them, this wouldn't have happened. Or she doesn't say it like that, but she gives those vibes.
Well, maybe you watched this somewhere in the past.
That's where I'm like, maybe I have, because I'm like,
because there is a scene kind of like that where they're at her house, which also the clothing vibes on this of Kate are so good. But they're at her house and she's like, well, why did you get them and not me? And they're trying to like, they exchange letters and they look kind of exchange letters. But back to the scene. And so Joan comes in and she is like super mom. So cool. It's just really funny because there's a blooper of it where she like messes up her line. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird. Because she is like, because she's pregnant in it. So she was like, you're not ready for that. Are you ready for this? And she's like in it. And so then they get the daughter out of there. And she's like, you're not a bad person, but this is very bad behavior. Very bad.
I feel like I've at least seen that scene, because that, maybe I have seen this like a long time ago. I just forgot. But I feel like that's one of those scenes that probably gets circulated online, because like that line sounds familiar. I'm gonna have to watch it now and see if it like all unclips.
I'm sure. It's 2004, so there has been quite a bit of time. But I do feel like this is a very underrated movie as well, because I don't know. I just feel like it has Gary Marshall, it has all these people. And a funny behind the scenes type is before this, Gary Marshall had worked with Kate Hudson's mom in Overboard. Cute. And so he kept calling.
Oh, I've seen that movie. I didn't know that he was on that too.
Yeah, he kept calling her Goldie. they were like keeping track of like how many times he would call her the wrong name.
Cute.
But I thought it was cute. So there was a quote that I have for it, which is so the question in a interview was, looking back, was there any moment, anything in particular during the making of Raising Helen that was the most memorable for you? Or let me repeat that, during the filming, was there a moment that was most memorable for you personally? And so Kate Hudson replied, well, personally, while we were making the film, well, obviously the golden moment was I got pregnant, which is really cute. She got pregnant in filming, but I didn't know that until I was done shooting. But I have to say, in the film, the most sweetest moment was with the kid, when the kids were done. And when we finished with the kids, it was just so emotional. And I looked at Abby Breslin, who plays the 5-year-old Sarah, and she was crying. And then it was so difficult. We really just hugged forever, and I told them I loved them. And it really made the whole experience that much more special to know that those kids took something special from the experience, you know? And I'm like, aw.
That's so sweet.
Because I just feel like from what we can tell, every time that there was like a Gary Marshall set, it was just really the experience that you would want it to be for everybody involved.
Yeah, for sure.
And even like a few of the behind the scenes clips that I saw were just like the older brother Spencer Breslin just kind of like joking and pretending he was Gary Marshall with his like little walkie-talkie and being like, everybody get to set. It was just a really cute. Sweet moment. I feel like it also ends really well. One of my sidetracks that I had, super sidetrack by the way, is I was looking up and then I was like, oh, Gary Marshall. And then I went back to the Princess Diaries, and then in the first movie, the love interest in that, I was like, oh yeah, he left to do music things. What's he doing? And he's been doing soundtracks. I didn't know this. Even
cool.
Yeah, he was a writer on When Did Your Heart Go Missing and Day to Day from the Last Showgirl, which came out in 2024. So he's still doing it. So,
well, good for him.
Oh, super sidetracked. But I was like,
maybe he'll do, because there's like rumors about a Princess Diaries 3. I'm like, can you do that?
Right? That would be crazy. That'd be
amazing. That'd be iconic.
Yeah. Also, Helen Mirren's in this movie too. So she plays kind of the boss.
The queen?
Yeah, exactly. Basically. I just feel like it's a really good cast. It's very fun. It is sad at some points, but it also is nice to see Kate Hudson's character really grow and be like, no, I really do want these kids, and like I want this family and being this mom, and like the one spoiler, well, actually there's a lot of spoilers, but at the very end, Abigail does learn to tie her shoes in the very last scene. Aww, and it's so cute. And so I just feel like the coziness of it is that time period, the fact that it's kind of like the all is well that ends well of it, the fact that you just see the characters grow and the kids learn and they get to like start this new life. And it's just a very hunky-dory ending to the film, which I really appreciate. That it's Raising Helen, 2004.
Yeah. That may or may not have actually seen. I'll have to check. Because, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I have, but there's parts of that plot. Maybe it's been done with something else. I'll need to see.
It could feel like No Reservations because, like, even to the point where I thought Mae Whitman was the little girl until I started watching the movie. Oh yeah, I forgot it was Abigail. So yeah. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like it's very similar to other movies around the time in the good way.
Yeah, but it's so good. Yeah. Are we getting into 2%?
Yes. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first this time.
Mine has to do with food.
Love it.
There is, I was just trying to think of it in a way. So we have a friend that's visiting us, and not that like there's not Trader Joe's in other places, but a lot of times they're like really far from certain places. So we went to Trader Joe's, and we got this mochi that is so good.
Ooh, it's like I've never had it before.
It's really good. It's in the freezer section, so it's like a ice cream mochi, which I actually don't even know if it's technically mochi then if there's ice cream in it, but we got one that is blood orange, which is really good. 10 out of 10. Would definitely recommend. We also got green tea, which I would say is like a 7 or 6 out of 10. And then there's a strawberry, which we haven't tried yet. So they're very good. They're very tiny too. The thing I like about them is it's like one is enough, or like you could do like 2 if you're really feeling it. But like you could just like have like a little treat, but it's not like you're gonna get like sucked into like the bowl of ice cream and like finish it. So
yeah,
that was nice.
Which that just gave me an idea. We need to write this down for our little monthly mini-sodes. No, that was giving Blue's Clues. I need a handy dandy notebook, but we should do like a cozy Trader Joe's tasting haul where we get like some of the same snacks and like rate them and we try them on camera together.
Yes, especially for fall. I feel like their fall.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay, I am gonna write that down. You tell us your 2% cozy.
Okay, so this is kind of I feel like my 2% for the next like 3 months are all going to be American Girl summer
I love it.
vibes. But I had to pick up a prescription yesterday, and so because I had originally needed to go grocery shopping last weekend, but I guess because I don't normally go grocery shopping, but I didn't realize so many stores were closed on Easter.
Oh yeah,
we're normally like we're just not normally needing to shop that day. And so I was like, I was going to go to Target and get a little craft kit, but they were closed. So I went last night to get my prescription. So I got a little craft kit and I sent Joy a bunch of pictures. I was like, help me pick one out. So I got this. It's a kawaii cute jewelry.
It's so much bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it has like all these pieces. And so I'm going to make little bracelets and I'm going to send one to Joy and we're going to have a little friendship bracelet. So I will keep everyone updated on how that goes.
Fun fact, I've never had a friendship bracelet.
Well, I technically have one. So back when Taylor Swift was doing her whole tour and they were all making them, I had a couple of my students go and because I feel like most of them do like the bead ones, but she did the like braided thread one. So she gave me one of those.
Oh, fun. I did the ones with like you'd like make the box or like the spiral type of.
Oh, I have a friend who does like she does those all the time. It's kind of one of her like fidgety kind of things. She has like a tub of the materials and she's always like we'd be in a meeting and she'd be like working on one. She's super good at it.
I did that as a kid. That and like you would also you could if you like ran out of that, you'd get like hemp. You do it with that.
Yeah.
What about our cozy detectives?
So I have a DM to share that was just very, very sweet. I had it like saved, pulled up, but then I had to check on it. I already forgot his name, but the actor. Anyways, so this is from at Maddie Hagengruber. Hagengruber. I missed a G when I typed it out, but I just saw it on the DM. Sorry. Anyway, she says, hey, I'm sending a DM to let you guys know how much I love your podcast. I'm a senior in college with grad school coming up, and my life has been so hectic this last year. I discovered your podcast in December, and I have all caps binged the episodes because they're so good, which honestly, that's so kind because I don't know, that's something we always worry about of like, because we don't really have our niche is cozy, but we talk about such different things. So sometimes I'm like, oh, well, if you don't like that particular topic, are you going to like check out on us? So that's very encouraging to hear. And she said, the podcast really just helps me to slow down and appreciate the little things in life. And then also she had some things for our 1 year, but I didn't see this before I think we got this after recorded. But yeah, we read it. Very, very sweet. But said, I love, love, love your 2% cozies, and they really help me to reflect on my own life. And I always think about what my 2% would be. I love the work you guys do and the coziness and warmth your podcast brings to my life. Thank you.
Thanks, Maddie.
So sweet.
So happy to have you in the blanket fort.
Yeah.
And also, good job on school. Oof. Struggle bus, but you're doing it. You're doing great.
Congratulations on being almost done and then starting grad school. That's so exciting.
That is exciting. Very exciting. And also, even in that too, the 2% cozy, I feel like is important because I don't know. I feel like sometimes in school, depending on the professor, depending on things, they just like sometimes don't realize that you take more than one class. You're like, multiple of these. So you could not.
Right. Exactly.
So, yes, we love correct boundary setting equals cozy.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Blanket Fort Files Pod. Send us your 2% cozy. Episode 2, season 2. We're in it. Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. And then join us next week in the Blanket Fort. We're going to discuss the coziness of nostalgic website games. I have sunk hours into mine.
I know. I need to go back on and make sure mine are. They're probably damaged. It's fine.